Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is episode 17 of Brace for Impact. I can't believe we've already done 17 of these parks.
I'm surprised you remembered the number. I
Yeah,
don't remember the
honestly,
number anymore.
if you'd asked me in episodes prior, I'd have been like, I don't
I
know. Let
forgot,
me go
man.
look at the
We just
YouTube. Yeah,
all I
right.
know
Yeah,
is we come in every 2 weeks and talk to each other for like an hour and a half.
yeah.
Shoot some actual stuff around, and then we go through all of the emotions together. But you know what? We're here to bring you all on an emotional journey because
Yeah,
that's
because
what we
North
do.
American Counter Strike is quite the roller
North
coaster.
American
But
Counter
aside from
Strike.
that,
Shout out to Liquid. Let's go. Liquid just
yeah.
qualified for the Legends.
Oh, I didn't mean
Yeah.
liquid, but it's all
I
right.
know you don't mean liquid,
I
but I mean liquid. That's what
yeah.
really matters here is
It,
what I
uh,
mean.
honestly, that's true, and honestly, the major, I can't blame you because it
Oh,
was quite a roller
so good.
coaster for Liquid, to be
We
fair.
love drama. All
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, we have had actually, it's believe it or not, I'm shocked, Parks. It's kind of a lighter episode, I
Thank
feel like. There's
goodness.
just
Oh my
there's not
God, thank
yeah, I
goodness.
know, right? There's always so much content. But it's been kind of a we're in like the Fed quiet period, right? You know where there's that week where nobody from the Fed speaks right before the FOMC meeting? This is only me. Nobody can relate right now.
Yep,
Uh
pretty much. I'm not even
yeah.
gonna try, man.
This is yeah, it's fine. This is what it's like. It's a quiet period for events and because everybody's kind of
We got
preparing
we
for
got stuff
Dallas. Yeah,
coming.
we
We
got
got
Dallas
stuff
coming up.
cooking. We got
Yeah.
stuff cooking.
Yeah.
Let's not mince words here. There are things coming. A la next week. A la the week after. A la
I think
then
it's just us.
Dallas.
I just meant yeah, Dallas. I was like,
Yeah.
everybody's prepping for Dallas. Let's
Oh,
be real.
everybody's prepping for Dallas, but we're pre-prepping by extra episodes because that's what we are
We're
doing now.
prepping the prep for
Hell
Dallas.
yeah, dude. Do you have your list together of things you need to bring? Because I sure as
I
hell don't.
do. I don't. I just ordered my luggage, like
Yeah,
a carry-on case for the plane. So I got the plane. I got the
yeah,
Airbnb. I actually still need to get the event ticket. Um,
buddy.
yeah,
Wait,
buddy.
don't you have isn't
Yeah, I never got the email, bruh.
okay, you gotta talk to people about that because
Yeah, I
for
gotta
sure
talk to
there's
someone.
100% you can
I
get one
gotta
from
cook
like
some more. I gotta
you can
cook
get
some
one
more.
from Reef 100%. Like
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
she's trying to because she
That's what I'm
got
saying.
hers from the
I gotta
page.
message her. I gotta cook some more.
Yeah, we got
So
This is just so you guys know. This has been like the last 20 minutes of us talking before we got into doing the actual episode.
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah. The
literally just
resource.
carrying it over. We're 3 minutes in. We haven't talked anything about actual
It's
CS.
all
So
good. It's all good.
let's
So,
push on here. This is probably the longest intro we've had. Yeah, that's where we're
yeah,
at. Okay,
yeah.
cash cups. We're gonna start there because that was probably the biggest thing across the whole
Where do
board.
you want to start?
Let's start where the teams didn't start. Asia, it got canceled again.
God damn. Actually, did it?
Yeah,
Hold
it
on.
did. It did.
Hold on. Hold on.
Cash
Are you
Cup number
sure?
3, May 6th to May 7th. Canceled,
I'm seeing. I'm seeing. Oh, I'm on Oceania. Yeah, you're right.
buddy. If you want to, you know what?
Mobby.
Let's go there next. Let's go to Oceania.
Okay. Okay.
Shout out, by the way, before we get into this, shout out to Kim. I was a little bit intoxicated the other night and was staying up really late. I think it was like
Oh yeah,
3
you
a.m.
tugged with her,
And
didn't you?
we played Wingman together, and I hit an absolute stupid of a shot, and ended up getting a case from her. I unlocked nothing. It was a blue, but like it was the funniest clip I'd had the entire time. And then I went to bed, woke up 4 hours later, and was like, that was so much fun. So shout out to
Who?
Australian CS and New Zealand CS.
Who? Here's a question. Who with the worst ping?
Oh, I did. I was on 200
Oh,
ping.
okay.
I was,
You were on her.
buddy. I said
Oh
I want to play some
man.
Australian CS. I want the experience, and honestly, I had a really good time.
I want the
I
experience
want the
of
experience.
pressing W and not going forward.
I kid you not. Dude, you look at the clip of the shot. It took a solid like 2 seconds for me to realize what had happened, and that was because like I took the shot and then I turned away and ran because I expected I was gonna die, and no, I got him and won the game. Anyways, super funny. We have new team names coming out from Oceania. They're getting a little
One
creative.
new team name, yes. Not everybody that normally was available, I believe, was available, right?
Yeah,
So you still had Connie, Soko, Evelyn, Wolf, and Artemis, and they were on a team, wonderful name, called Soy Sauce Packets. And they were playing Treads, but Treads had Mickey and Red Ribbon as along with Barf and
yeah.
Bones and Maddie. Um, yeah, the Vertigo wasn't close. 16-0.
16-0. And then a 16-12.
Inferno was actually really close. It was,
Yeah.
it was 16-12, so it was like a little bit of both worlds there, I remember. But yeah, no, it was a decent cash cup, I have to say.
The
And
the continued the continued resolute we're just gonna play is amazing from Oceania, and I don't think they get
and
spoken about
the thing
enough.
is they're growing. Like
They
that's the
are.
crazy thing. So
They are.
you have players who haven't played in like last year's cash cups at all, and now they're coming in like I don't know if Red Ribbon did, but like a Miggy, there was definitely players on that team that this was one of their first experiences playing competitively, and within the women's space, of course. And I know their Discord got a few new members as well, um, coming in. So it's like they're growing. Like what they're doing, the work that Bones and everybody else is doing down there is starting to, I don't want to say pay dividends yet, but it's starting to have a greater effect on the women's scene in Australia and New Zealand. They had the ISF qualifier as well. I forgot to type that to you in our notes, but
Oh, we
they had
gotta.
the IES
Yeah.
they had the ISF qualifier as well.
I didn't
So
see who won that either. I have no idea.
Australia did
Okay.
2-0, I think it was.
Hmm.
So
Quick footnote there
Australia's
on that one
gonna
then.
now, and that's the regional ones. So now, like Australia has a spot at the Asia IESF qualifier, and I think they actually have to play like Jamie's team. I think Jamie qualified with oh, I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe it's Kyrgyzstan. Is she Kyrgyzstan or is she
I have no idea.
Kazakhstani? I can't remember.
Is it
I
is
don't
it
know. I would
blue?
have
Is
to
it
look it
blue
up.
with the yellow, or is
No,
it
it's
blue,
it's
red,
an
green?
orange flag. It's
Oh
an orange
God,
flag.
it's like Tibet.
No, it's not Tibet.
Yeah, I know
It's
it's
not.
not Tibet, but it's like we're getting
Because
into.
she's from a country, but it's just she's from a country. Yeah, it is Kyrgyzstan. It's Kyrgyzstan. It's a red flag with the orange like sun. So
Okay,
yeah, it's
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan.
We love fun with flags.
I actually know that reference, and I hate you
I'm
for it.
so glad you
I
do.
hate you for
That
it
would have
so
fallen
much.
so flat if you didn't. All right, so Oceania, they're having fun and we're down there. Shout out to them. I feel like I'm dismissing them on that. We're not dismissing you. I have no other way to get us over to
No,
South
it's fine.
Africa.
I get
I have
it.
no
Yeah.
way to get you to South Africa, where we had four notable teams in the listing here. We had the Minecraft players, of course,
What a great
Aperture
name.
Gaming, Mommy Milkers, and White Rabbit Amorales. Never not going to be funny. Um,
Right.
is what happened to Vibin? Hold on. Were they just they
Uh,
couldn't play. I think they got two in a row, so they couldn't play.
yeah, they couldn't play.
That makes sense. And that shows growth in South Africa. We're all about growth when
Yeah.
starting here. Four
Yeah.
teams that, and not including Vibin, Minecraft players, of course, is the core of what was ATK with
Yep.
Creative and I Hate Jess. Amazing name.
Two
That's going to take you
SSB as
far.
well.
Yeah, 2SSB. Well, 2SSB was on the squad. So, um, Mommy Milkers, Lady Purr, and A Avocado, Cows, and Goose.
Mhm.
That's very funny. I love their name. They did not make it very far though. Both White Rabbit Morales and Minecraft players 2-0'd their competitions. Wasn't really, neither were much neither faced much competition in the semifinals.
Yeah,
Uh,
eight rounds by the opponents in
yeah.
both semifinals across the maps, so combined.
Although that being said, Minecraft then went on to 16-2, 16-5 White Rabbit Morales. So I think we still know who's the top dog in South Africa, and it is the ATK
Of
core.
course.
So we'll see a lot more of the Minecraft players, which would be absolutely hilarious if they were to qualify for something, if ever something came down there.
I honestly think they're probably the best women's side South Africa's produced, and that's really it makes me ashamed to say that. Not ashamed to say that, but it makes me upset to say that because that's not the lineup that went to the season one land. Remember
Yeah.
how South Africa got the season one land?
And
And I think that
they
so
tried to qualify as
2SSB
well
was
for
in that?
Valencia there as well.
Yes, and 2SSB was in that team, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so was Megs, but I mean, it was Kinslayer, it was Nats, it was Scorps, great players.
Yeah.
But like once they made a few changes and you had Casey and whatnot come into the squad, like then this squad really started doing some damage. That's when the squad
Yeah.
qualified for main. That's it. So it's like the fact that they never got representation at another land, especially as ATK when they
Not
were
in
just
the ESL
dominating
lands.
this
They
scene.
went
Yeah,
to
not in ES. They went to Gamer Girl Festival down in South Africa, Cape Town festivals
They
from
did, and
Gamer
they did,
Girl.
I think, one in Abu Dhabi or wherever in the Middle East
Yes,
as well.
yes,
So, but
yes.
no mainstream
Right.
lands that we would have had a
No
very good
impact
key in on.
circuit
Yeah,
lanes. Yeah.
they weren't really afforded that chance.
Yeah, and I'm like, obviously the South Africans didn't look extremely competitive in season one. I
Yeah.
thought you would have gotten a lot more out of this side. You know what I mean? You got a hell of a lot more out of this side on land. Maybe not winning, maybe still going out seventh, eighth, potentially, yes, but certainly competitive maps, competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
9, 10 rounds against some of the sides. So it's like the fact that they didn't get to really play another land is like an impact land is like it just makes me so upset.
100%. 100%. Well, we are going to continue going across the southern end of the equator here. We'll go into South America next because usually you don't get too much in the way of the teams. And what the heck is going on with this bracket? Yeah, there's something up with this bracket, man. This is insane.
Uh
They threw some things together here and decided there was going to be a half lower bracket that never actually existed.
oh, I see what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, that is something.
I think they just set up the bracket wrong.
I think somebody, yeah, I
I
think
think that's what
somebody
they
somebody had a boo boo there and didn't really say anything about it. No,
did.
there's
Yeah.
three teams signed up. Black
They made
Dragons,
the bracket
MIBR.
essentially double elimination is what
Yeah,
they did. So, and they didn't mean to make it double
no,
elimination. So that's
no, they
just
did
it. That's
not.
just a, but it's
Because
fine.
the
You
main
still
two
play.
teams that we know from this is MIBR and Black Dragons. There was another team in there, but
Right.
I don't really have a roster.
Caprivadas Gaze
Yeah.
was in there. That was the third team.
And you know what? It was a pretty close affair on Mirage, 16-14 for Black Dragons, and then a 16-7 on Nuke for Black Dragons. So they took the win there quite quickly.
The
Yeah.
marquee matchup was in the semifinal
Oh,
between
the
MIBR and Caprivadas
oh,
because
I see. Yeah,
Caprivadas won Inferno 16-14.
yeah, full
But
three
then
mapper.
MIBR did the Mirage Vertigo 16-10, 16-11. So that was like the headline series. Like that was your great.
Yeah,
There's
and
an
then
awesome series.
of course with Black Dragons getting the bye, they just kind of walked in and went, okay,
Oh yeah, but they're
sounds good.
easily the second best team in
There you
South
go. That's
America
why,
right now.
right? They know what
Yeah,
they're going up against. So yeah, very good for the Black Dragon side. It's kind of funny that the South American Cup got less representation than the South African Cup, and just barely more than the Oceanian one. You can kind of see where their priorities are in the fact that they have a Liga Femenina, like they have other
right.
stuff that they can do. So the ESCA Cash Cup doesn't really mean as much.
I
So
think
they're
the other thing too was it was Syria B and like Syria C
Yeah, like
like
they've got other
during
stuff
that
that they
time.
care about more than the Cash Cup. They're gonna earn more
Yeah,
money from it potentially. So
yeah.
it's cool to see when you have a region that has a little too a lot more they're a lot more flush with events, which is awesome from South America. They've done something right down there, and that's cool.
Yep.
We're gonna go to the next one over here in Europe. We're skipping. We're dodging. We're dodging the final one here because the final one's a
Right.
big one.
We
Big
got a
one.
piece of news
We
behind
got
it.
a
Yeah.
piece of news.
Yeah.
And you know what? Europe came to play. We got NIP. We got East Legends, which I did not know existed. It's a CIS team. Yayo, VIP,
Yeah.
VP. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, I was going to say something about East Legends. I'll come
Yeah.
back to it.
Incilio female, and Astralis are they're all the notable teams. There's also Oliver Peak and Cute, but neither of those I know too. I don't know any of the players on either of these, and I think they were just kind of put together to play and made top 8, made the
Oh yeah.
quarterfinals. So
Yeah.
good
And
amount of
and
teams though.
so East Legends, some of these players have been around, like Averona and Urbitka. I
Yeah,
remember, and especially in the Fast Cup. So some of them coming out. Obviously, Oliver Peak had quite a few players of note on there, like Mikeri and Hikomi, who have played plenty of Cash Cups before
yeah.
on there. So there's some interesting sides in here as well. I'm really interested in this Yayo side. I know I've mentioned it before, right?
Hmm.
And they barely got by Virtuosis in the opening round, and that was Runella, who's I mean a lot of these players on the Virtuosis side, it's the Russian side. I don't really know them. I got to be honest. So Camo is it Camo Kipka, Davalka, and Trigusha, for example. I don't know these players, but I do know Runella, who has been playing Counter Strike for a long time. Like Runella was a name that used to compete in the old ambush like seasonal qualifier, like seasonal cups and the qualifiers, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she ever made the main thing. So like I've seen the name from 2020. I've seen the name from 2019. Like Devin's been playing CS a while. Good to see her competing. But some interesting seams like the Shako Bonds was Olivka, Olka, Verka, and Nessie as well in that side. Like those are some decent players.
Yeah.
Zephyr was the coach as well, I believe. Yeah, Zephyr was the coach. That's a pretty solid coach behind him as well. Olsik, who used to be on, I want to say way back in the day, Olsik might have been on the old Izaku Boars lineup,
Ooh.
which was basically, I believe that was Navi Javelins prior to Navi Javelins, like some of that lineup. They really kind of broke apart once Izaku like didn't renew their contract, and I know Firing Girl retired and whatnot and moved into like a full time staff role.
Mhm.
So, but these players have been around for a while. It's good to see some of them coming back in to play, these cash cups, and we got a lot of good games out of it. Even the Swedish side, like Vlansburg's been around a very long time. So to see them play as Pasiba Esports, even that looks like it's an organization, is fantastic.
Yeah, great development coming through on that. And I mean, looking at the scoreline here, NIP taking it pretty handily. Yeah. 16-10 on Inferno against Astralis is all that I can see that went to double digits for them. Astralis themselves looking pretty good. It's 16-3 early on. They did go to a three overtime thriller against VP in the semifinals. There it was a 3-map thriller, and then it was a 3 overtime thriller on Inferno in
On
the middle,
Inferno, yeah.
and that was what catalyzed them into the win because they got 25-23 and then 16-13, lost overpass 16-9. So it's good to see all that. Shout out to I'm gonna say her name wrong, Menersyncs.
Måneskin.
Måneskin, yeah.
Måneskin. Måneskin.
she popped into my
Yeah.
stream one day, so I had to give her a shout out because any
Yeah.
EU player that somehow makes it over into a stream like mine is just absolutely weird. But we love you.
One thing to note, by the way, is Astralis have used Danu in this lineup as well. So, like, I'm expecting an announcement. Give me an announcement, please. They've worked with Danu for like it's got to have been 5 to 6 weeks now
Yeah,
that Danu's been in this side. Very good player. We talked about it before in this pod. So, looking forward to that. The other thing of note, I think here too, is like I said, this Yayo side. Who, okay, yeah, they the semifinal wasn't super close, right?
no.
But it's the fact that they made the semifinal. Like
Hmm.
it's tough to put a ton of weight in it because the only side in the upper half of the bracket that was actually like, expected to go places was going to be NIP, right? Like this, but it's still
They
it's
went
still
16-14 in the round of 16. They were very close to not even making it
yeah,
that far
that's what I'm
because they
saying
went
against the
against
Virtuosis
Virtuosus.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like this Yayo side, they're going to be one to watch if when season 4 qualifiers come around, if they're the if they stay together, because I'm
yeah,
like this is a team that's won a few fast cups. They've gotten deep into this cash cup tournament, so I
yeah.
would I would definitely fancy their chances.
All right. So that leaves us away with Europe, and I guess we come to the final one. The big storyline on this one, North America. I am going to pull up the bracket here, just make sure I get this all right. We had
Yeah, me too.
7 teams come through this time around. A little bit less than the 9 that we're usually expecting, but I mean, kind of get what you get, right? We don't expect a whole lot in terms of teams signing up because we just like whenever teams sign up in general. But coming through, of course, Red, the old CLG Red side, got that number 1 seed. They didn't have much trouble really getting through. They got a bye in the first round. They got a 16-0 in the second, beating out Coven, who themselves beat out Team Factor Ruby, which
Yeah.
is a newer looking Team Factor Ruby after Catalyst and Haley, or Cincy, sorry, it's not Haley, Cincy are gone. Um,
Yeah.
so that was the upper half of the bracket done, and then the bottom was a bit more something.
Yeah.
Shimmer going up against Saints in the semifinal. Saints had a 16-0 on their way there. So Shimmer had a 16-2. They get to the semifinals, and it looks like, sorry, I'm grabbing the wrong one here. Sorry. So Coven out of 2 maps got 4 rounds total.
Yeah, and all of them were on Mirage. I guess
Yeah, and all of
16
them
of
were
them
on Mirage.
turned
Yeah,
on.
it was
Yeah.
not fun. Shimmer versus Saints was a lot closer. Shimmer 16-14 on Mirage, and then a 16-5 on Inferno. I believe Inferno was their map pick, so no huge surprise there. But yeah, it was Shimmer taking the W on that. And so that left us with the grand final of Red Dead Redemption going up against Shimmer. We come into that one, and oh my goodness, what a matchup.
Yeah.
It went a full 3 maps, which is
Yeah.
it's the second time that's happened between these two teams, and it's the second time
Yep.
ever that Red has had to go to a third map in domestic play.
Yep.
So Shimmer won the first map 16-13 on Mirage. Red then come back and win 19-17 on Overpass. And then we get to
Yep.
the third map of Ancient, and that's kind of where it all gets sealed, with Shimmer taking the W and winning up against Red Dead Redemption. It was a 16-13 on Ancient, and crazy, crazy, crazy. Shimmer are the first domestic team, at least, to beat out this red side, and that's really cool. Heading in the ESL Impact era, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
they're the first in domestic play for that,
And they're gonna be
and
at the LAN.
both of
And they're
them
gonna
are
be
gonna
at
be at the
Dallas.
LAN. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. I guess a few notables from that people have kind of taken away. Kaude was still in France playing this.
Yeah.
And I believe people were telling me that she was doing IGL work. I don't know what
I
to say
don't
about that.
believe
I
that.
don't
I
believe
don't believe
that.
that.
I believe
I don't believe
Goosebeater
that
would still be doing IGL work.
Oh, 100%.
Like that's her bread and butter at this point. I want to say she is the mom of the team, quite literally in
Yeah.
some
If anyone
aspects.
actually
So,
believes somebody else is IGLing in this team, I've got a bridge to sell you, mate. All right.
sell
I'm
Eiffel
just
Tower.
saying, bro.
Um,
So
But no, they looked really good, and honestly, I think their play showed through in terms of their aim. They also came prepared with a good amount of strats, and that ended up showing off. And honestly, I'm glad that we're finally seeing competitive side of these NA teams step up against the domestic play, because for the longest time it was always, it does not matter what you do, coming up against Red you're gonna lose, and now we've
yeah.
seen, look of the script here, Shimmer has won, and I can't say for sure whether this means now it's gonna be a constant one, who's the better 1 versus 2. I'm gonna still give that to Red
No,
just based
it's
on
all
play.
red.
It's
All
always Red, but getting that little bit of an underdog hit, that Dave versus Goliath kind of action going on,
Oh, you love it.
it
You love to
really
see it.
pumps me, and it really pumps me up for
Yeah.
Dallas, because it shows that Shimmer put in a lot of work, and when we see them at Dallas, the hope is they're really going to shine. Oh, he doesn't like that one, but I got it anyways.
Honestly, that's a Benny level joke, okay? That's the problem. That's a Benny level joke.
Happy to have done it for you.
No, but look, I think it's good. Think it is good. I don't put a ton of weight into this one. I do have to say, because Cowboys in France and all that other stuff. But you know, Shimmer putting in the work on these maps. Like, you see them playing the Ancient. They're willing to play the Ancient against a lot of times. Their Overpass looks really, really good. And CLG believe they're a Mirage team, and they're not a Mirage team. So it's the age old adage. They are a Mirage team in a way that they have good strats. They play it well. They're not a Mirage team in the fact that they just never beat anybody on it. They just cannot win maps on Mirage in the
Oh,
Impact circuit, bro.
there's
Old Benny is back on the pod, and he
yeah,
says,
he's back.
"Stop picking Mirage, please. I
Please.
beg you. I beg you." It's just it's like, how many losses is it gonna take, man? How many losses is it gonna take?
One more, I swear.
No, it's not. Well, maybe if they go to Dallas, they don't win on it.
Just one more try. Just one more try, Benny. I swear, I promise it'll work. Just one
You're
more.
like the guy you're like that scene out of National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, where he tries to gamble his money back and he keeps losing all of his money. Okay, he takes a Keno ticket from a dying man to bail him out.
Just
Okay,
one
I
more
don't
try,
think.
Benny. I swear.
No, no,
Then I'll go
no.
clean.
Get
I'll stop
deep
playing
in the map
Mirage.
pool.
Yeah.
Deep in the map pool. This is the problem for CLG Red, is they do have to deepen the map pool, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it with Connie in the Katowice primer, and that the map pool tends to be Mirage, Overpass. A lot of teams play Mirage and Overpass. We know Inferno's in that map pool. CLG aren't going to beat the likes of Enigma and Inferno. They're going to get clapped on it if they play
I
Enigma and
think Nigma is
Inferno.
a bit too high of a bar to compare to.
Okay, that's fair. That's a perfectly reasonable
I think we need to
critique
compare
of my
to
critique.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need to
But
look
it's
towards maybe more so towards their level of like a B4 or um
oh,
a
I
Nine
don't think they're
Pandas.
beating B4 on Inferno.
I don't think they're beating B4 either, but I don't know.
But,
Like
like
you can't compare them
but,
to
like, you
Nigma when
played
Nigma
the
were literally the
Vertigo
best team
very
across last
well,
season.
my point is CLG played the Vertigo very well.
Yeah,
They play Ancient, like, put a little bit more time in that. Anubis, these EU teams like to pick Anubis.
so
If you
play it.
wanna get a leg up, you can put time into the Anubis. I think
Yeah,
that might be even an Achilles heel for a team like Nigma. Again, harsh comparison, but still, like, Na'Vi play it. B4 have it in their map pool, but they
yeah,
don't play it often. Like, you can punish pick the Anubis if you wanted to. Ancients in there as well. Like, you've got to get the map pull off Mirage. You have to, because
yeah,
everybody plays it. Like, people don't understand we talked about the Brazilian teams too, really quickly,
yeah.
and the Brazilian teams, Dust 2 was their map. Remember how
Yes,
every one of the Brazilian teams
they
played
knew
Dust
how
2?
to play Dust 2 for cheap.
That's now Mirage. Every one of those teams play Mirage. MIBR play it. W7M play it. Fury of love it. B4 can play it. They usually ban it because they know other teams are strong against it in their region.
Yeah,
But, they can play it. Black Dragons can play it. Like, Mirage is the new Dust 2 in Brazil. You're not, and it's been in the map pool so long. We've seen the likes of Nine Pandas already beat this CLG lineup on it. Like, you're not gonna fool team. You're not gonna pull the
yeah.
wool over teams' eyes on this
There's
map.
no escaping that.
Yeah,
It's just
you've
gonna
got to
happen.
get it out of the map pool
Yeah.
and move on to something else that can give you a competitive edge. Because right now, that's what CLG don't have. They do not have a competitive edge.
That's where we're gonna swap over. That's the final point on the cash cups. Speaking of a competitive edge, I swear ESL's doing this on purpose. They want a competitive edge against the fans coming to the LAN because the schedule dropped, and we're gonna have
Oh,
fighting. We're having fighting words over here, Benny. I mean,
I'm ready.
look at
I'm
this.
ready to fight, bro.
We're ready
I'm
to fight.
ready.
So we took a look at the schedule. It has been released. If you
Yeah.
want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description for it. The event schedule has released, and now usually it's not much of an issue. The expo opens at 9:30 on Saturday and Sunday. We get the pre-show, we get the matches, we get the grand finals. Amazing. Friday, bit of a different story. Pre-show starts at 9 a.m.
Yes.
First match starts at 9:30.
9:30. Hey.
That's the Group A opening match.
Yep.
Expo opens 10 a.m.
Yeah. What?
You,
Guys.
y
Is
That's
DreamHack
most of the
open
match.
Thursday? Like, is the actual DreamHack event open Thursday?
I don't know. No, I believe
Okay.
DreamHack opens Friday. So like they
Okay.
get the venue, they have the venue Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and
They
Sunday's
probably
gonna
have
be
it
tear down.
Thursday for setup, in all honesty, as
Well, so
well.
they have it for Thursday for setup, and they'll have it probably for Monday as well for teardown for a lot of the stuff that can't be teared down on Sunday. I've been to some lands before, like they're by Sunday time, like most people are tearing down their stuff, at least for bring your own
Yeah.
computer stuff.
Closing time.
Shout out to Land
Yeah.
ETS for that. That was a very interesting scene on the Sunday. There was
Here,
everybody's just taking everything at once.
yeah. Here's the thing. Do what Boston did. I'm gonna compare it now. This is another harsh comparison, okay?
Yeah,
Because I'm comparing it to the CS:GO major. But do what Boston did. Open the venue at 8 a.m.
yeah,
Okay. The venue opens at 8. The pre-show didn't start until 9. The first game starts at 9:30 or 9:45, whatever
yeah.
you want, right? Why? Because you get fans in the arena. They have the early birds, the people with a reasonable sleep schedule.
None of us.
Uh,
None
me,
of
me,
us. None
me.
of us. None of us.
Anyway, look, but no. Besides that, the point is, like, people will wake up early. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know if you do. I mean, maybe not for Dreamhack Dallas so much as the major, because it was the
It
major.
was the major.
But yeah, but
There's also IEM Dallas there, so like some
yeah,
people might get up early for
people
that.
would be willing to wake up early for your event.
Yeah,
If you open at 8, you get people time to come in, set up. You can sell concessions earlier, even if you
yep,
didn't want to sell concessions. You don't have to open the concessions at
exactly.
8 a.m.
You don't have to open the
Yeah,
concessions, but they can
you have
be
so
there.
many options. But you get the people that are there to see the event come in, settle down, get good seats, and see the event, right? And that's the point. I shouldn't have to miss the first game or watch the first game on Twitch standing outside in line
I'm
because
gonna have so
we don't
much
want to
fun.
open a venue until 10 a.m. Like that's
Yo,
the
we
problem. Like
hotspotting outside the venue, just all of us on our phones watching the first
I
match.
mean,
That might be
I mean
realistically
that
that's probably what's
people
gonna
are gonna do
happen.
that. Like people are gonna like people. When I went to Boston, people did that. They on
Yeah,
Saturday we were standing outside at like 7:30 because the things opened at 8,
yeah,
and we're watching clips of yesterday's games, of
yeah.
Friday's games. So people are gonna do so. But the venue should open. I understand, like it's the opening day. You have more prep that needs to go into it than just closing and reopening the venue
Oh, 100%.
in between. 100% get that. But if you have the venue Thursday for setup, come in a little bit earlier Thursday, set up. Like I just the venue should be open before broadcast, not at broadcast. Like I would make the
Before.
same point for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
There's
it
no way at
opens at pre-show
9:30 it
start.
opens and the pre-show goes off at 9:30. The venue should open at 9, no later than 9, and the pre-show starts at 9:30. So fans have a way to get into the arena and set up and sit down and be there for when the show starts. Like
Yeah,
that's the entire point. You know what I
100%.
mean?
100%.
So
It is what it is, but hopefully it doesn't cause too much of an issue. Especially with that first game. Like if that first game goes fast, it's done before anybody gets into the
yeah,
arena. Like
and it's an
100%.
accelerated schedule, by the
Yeah.
way. Like they're not
So
going to
games are
hold the
going
group.
fast.
Yeah, they're not going to hold the second. The second game they have one here at what 11:10.
Yeah,
That game ain't being held till 11:10. If the 9:30
it's
game's
not
a
going to be.
16-2, that game's going to go off at like 10:15, 10:20. So
They've
yeah,
given an hour and 40 minutes, sorry, for each of these matches.
yeah,
And let's say half an hour for setup and like prep and everything before, like to get everybody's peripherals on and get
yep,
them a little bit of warm up time
yep,
before the match starts. So that gives you an hour and 10 of time in game. If each match goes 50 minutes, let's say they're not relatively close, let's say they're about 50 minutes. If it gets to a closer game, 100% you're probably going to hit that hour or 10. But if they're a bit one-sided towards the start, where maybe it's a half an hour a match,
yeah.
you're quickly going to start to the timeline's
And
going to shift up.
yeah, an hour 10 to me is like a 16-14, maybe even an overtime. Like I
Yeah.
don't because you got to remember the one thing about women's Counter Strike as well is it tends to be a little bit more fast paced. Like the
Yes.
men's tends to be or the co-eds tends to be very slower, much more methodical, much more drain of the utility and like rounds end like usually each round at least a minute's off the clock before the round is concluded or at least the bomb's planted. Like women's Counter Strike, they have no problem just absolutely trying to punch you straight in the mouth, right? Which is why I love it so much. But
Yeah.
also, it's a faster style of play usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's going to lead to quicker matches. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't
Yeah.
know. So I just think,
I wish they opened up earlier to give us time to
yeah,
get in there
come
instead
on,
of just
man.
kind of
Like,
having
come
us sit up there
on,
for half an hour.
man.
You
What
know
the
what,
heck?
Benny? The easiest solution to this is just to be inebriated enough that it doesn't matter day one.
Listen, all I'm saying is I'm flying first class down here, okay? They're giving me snacks on the plane. I wish it was a direct flight. If it was direct,
Oh, that'd
I'd
be
actually get a meal if it
beautiful.
was a direct flight, but
I got a
it's not
direct
a direct
flight.
flight.
I just don't. I didn't go first class. I was a little cheap.
Uh,
Considering I'm spending how much I'm spending to get to the airport via
If
cab,
if
like.
Delta's giving me snacks, Dreamhack better be giving me breakfast, okay? If I have to
Oh,
miss the first game
oh,
because I won't open a damn
there we
venue.
go.
I
That's
want
the Benny
breakfast, damn it.
experience. We'll talk to Reef. We'll get like a big breakfast for that morning.
Yeah,
She
breakfast at the
she
B&B actually is
honestly
gonna
was
be
like
pretty
she was
nice.
honestly like I could cook. That was like that small little thing to the side where a bunch of us are
Oh,
staying
when she
together
was
for the
one in the
LCA.
room,
And
I was
when
like,
she was
"Oh,
like, "Hey,
okay,
listen, if you're
Reefy."
looking for somebody, like I heard you're still looking for spots." I'm like, "Yeah, we still have space." She's like, "I can cook." I'm like, "You don't have to. Like that's not the requirement. You can just come
Yeah,
and
it's just like,
you
why?
don't have
Why?
to throw something that no, you can just come. Like we have
Yeah,
space."
exactly,
She's
exactly.
just, I could
Yeah.
cook. Great, amazing. I'm totally with you.
We're going to Terry Black's though. Get ready.
I'm
Terry
listen.
Black's
You've
barbecue.
made the appointment. I think a bunch of us are gonna come. Honestly, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than
Supposed
just.
to be really good
I wouldn't.
barbecue.
I would not be surprised if more than just the LCA people came because like I
Oh
expect
yeah.
100% for us to suddenly have like a group of 20 people going to this place at the same time. That
might
happened
reach
when I
out
went
to
to
TNT
Twitch.
Deal, by the way. Be like, yo, bring B4. Like, just bring the whole team to Terry
I went
Black's. Like,
to
come on.
I went to a Twitch event a few weeks ago, and that ended up happening with a bunch of us, or like, like 3 or 4 of us came together from Southern Ontario, and then we went to Toronto. And I think by the end of the night, we had like 6 or 7 people, all of us like walking to another bar because Twitch was the Twitch event had kind of died down. We're like, oh, we want to head somewhere else and a little bit quieter to get a drink. So yeah, there's like all of a sudden there was like 8 or 9 of us walking down the street together. I was like, oh, this is we just picking up stragglers, I guess. They weren't stragglers, they're all Twitch people that kind of came along. But it was a good
Yeah,
night.
yeah, of course.
That's my little kind of off to the side a little bit there. Because we are now heading into the final stuff here. The roster moves and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so
Where are we
let's
starting here?
begin.
Where are we starting, Benny? I think I know
I
where
don't,
I want to
I,
start.
I don't know.
Let's start
I
with
don't know.
some. Let's start with some rosters. Let's start with some rosters. Good
Yeah,
news or bad news?
let's start with the big. Let's
Oh,
start with the big one.
the big one.
Start with the room. Did we start with the rumor, or did we start with G2?
I think we start with the rumor
Okay.
because rumors are fun.
So there was a rumor
I heard a rumor
that came out,
Yeah.
and I believe did I send this to you on Twitter?
I
wanna
don't
say it was
know. I
Twitter.
know there was one about a certain team joining, and then you have the other one saying that a certain team was in trouble.
Yes, and I can't find the tweet
Neither
that
can I. I feel
says it was maybe it got deleted.
that might be why. So we'll hold off on that one because we don't have proof. I like having proof to back my rumors.
Well, that's why I said it's a rumor.
Yeah.
It's not,
Okay, so the rumor is that B4 are in a little bit of
I think I found
money
the tweet.
troubles. You found the
Oh
tweet?
yeah, I found it. I found the link,
And it's
but
gone.
it's been deleted.
So it's
yeah,
a
the tweet's been
delete
deleted.
tweet, but the tweet was basically saying that B4 might be in a bit of money troubles, which
Yes.
is not great, but
No.
until they drop their roster, I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm just gonna say
Yeah, now that the tweet's been deleted, I'm like, I'm definitely doing the Salt Bay
yeah,
with
maybe
the
just a
salt
little bit,
over
a
the
little bit,
story. Like,
yeah.
like come on now. So, but the rumor was that B4 were financially in a bit of trouble and they could close their organization.
Speaking of Argentina, though,
I don't see it. Who said anything about Argentina?
Cyrus are known to be an Argentinian organization, are they not? I thought they
Oh
fielded
yeah,
a
but
very
they didn't
strong
sign
Argentina.
it. Oh, the
They haven't
Isurus,
signed
you
it.
mean?
Isurus, sorry, I didn't know how to say
Yeah,
that.
the announcement wasn't a women's roster.
Oh,
it was
wasn't?
rumored
Ah,
that it was going to be a women's
there's
roster.
the
It
other
wasn't a
rumor.
women's roster. Yeah,
Okay,
no.
well, the two rumors kind of hit nothing then, so it seems like
Yeah.
we didn't do our
We
job.
just talked about absolute hot air for about 3.
Benny, we talked about hot air for an hour and 20
the
minutes.
two
Every
rumors
single
were
2 weeks.
B4 were potentially in financial trouble, which I don't know if that's true because the original report has now been deleted.
Yeah.
And then the other rumor was that Isurus were rumored that their announcement from 3 days ago was going to be a women's CSGO roster because if you remember, LRV dropped their lineup.
Yeah.
And LRV or not LRV, I'm sorry, Endgame dropped their lineup. And their competitive side and League of Feminine is coming up. So I'm like, the pieces are there if somebody wants to sign this team, right?
Yes.
Because they're probably going to make season 4 again. Maybe not the LAN, but the online tournament, right?
Yeah.
Because Endgame has been there all the previous 3 seasons.
Yes.
So it kind of would make sense. But then the announcement came and it wasn't a women's roster. So it's like, okay, so we're just kind of dead in the water with both rumors.
tried.
Yeah.
This is why we don't usually report on rumors because hot air.
Yeah.
Now for the actual news that's coming forward. I got the big one first. We'll kind of move down the row here. G2 is looking to be picking up Ramsen from Copenhagen
formerly
Flames
Copenhagen Flames. Yep.
And it looks like Manka is the odd woman out.
Well, they announced that she's gone.
Yes.
They actually did announce G2
she's leaving,
that
I believe.
Manka is left aside.
Yeah.
They have been playing with Ramsen though.
Yes.
And scrimming with Ramsen. So it is believed that Ramsen is going to be the replacement for Manka. They haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
Under that assumption, this is a brilliant move, especially for Ramsen, because Ramsen is a player who, on the Copenhagen Flames side, was one of the few players who was stable. So remember how we said that Copenhagen Flames is really this team that cycles talent. They build talent up, sell them off, find new talent, build them up, sell them up. Ramsen was the constant amongst all that, right?
Right.
She was a player that's been there. I want to say she's been on Copenhagen since she was 17, and she's 19 now.
Yeah.
So it's at least been 2 years. and a ton of roster changes. And really, really is got a very competitive drive to her, and really helped develop some of this talent. I don't know how much she had in the development of the talent that Copenhagen did sell, but she was there for those lineups. So I think this is going to be good because now you have a player who's 19 who has a really huge competitive drive, who has seen rosters turn over and turn over and turn over, and she's playing with some of the most veteran players this scene has,
Yeah.
who have won championships,
Hmm.
world championships in
Yes.
two different esports. So I think this is a huge opportunity for Ramson. I don't know if it's a move that gets G2 any closer to the lands. We had to see. I
Yeah.
think I I don't think it is. I think it kind of keeps them exactly where they were. Actually, I don't think they get any worse or any better off the back of this. But this is a big opportunity for Ramson,
Yeah.
and she's 100% deserving of it. So I'm very happy for her.
Well, another keystone to this is if she's the rock, if she was the rock for Copenhagen Shield Maidens, um, then you got to look at that and go, okay, well now G2 are kind of building. They're basically saying, hey, we're gonna give you a keystone, a la like a Bibian or a Goose Breeder. We're giving you this rock to use. We're gonna stick with her now. She's very good at being consistent across all this and sticking around. We're going to use her as kind of a building block. So eventually, if the veteran players move on or if other changes need to be made, we have this reliable player right here that we can always go back to and say, this is why we picked her up. This is why we have her kind of sitting in this position. She's going to do it. And if Copenhagen Flames saw that in her, I see no reason why G2 wouldn't see that in her as well. It's a good piece to pick up. It just might
Yeah.
not immediately show those benefits of like picking up a star rifler.
It's funny you mentioned BBon because just side note, they have 21 days.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
Remember 60
I
days? The visa was good for
Yeah,
60
I
days.
know.
39 have passed. Today's day
Yeah.
39. So
Please, somebody
3
sign
weeks
them.
from now is literally
Please.
the day after the Dallas LAN.
Please, somebody sign
So,
them.
yeah, 3 weeks from now is
Imagine,
the
dude.
day after the
Oh,
Dallas LAN.
imagine you make the semifinals on the Sunday, and you get. Imagine you get to Sunday. I don't care what happens on Sunday, but you get to Sunday, and literally the next day you have to hop on a plane and go
And
home.
go back to Australia.
Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want that to
oh,
happen.
I
Please do not let
please,
that happen.
please,
So,
please. All right. That's that move. I think you need to say the next one because I do not know how to say this at all. I'm gonna leave that to you.
okay. So Dewey's left she female.
Okay.
So I
I didn't know
believe
how to
that's
say
the
it. I was
name.
just scared.
I don't even know if that's
I
correct,
was just scared to say it. I'm
but
so sorry.
absolute was. No, it's okay. It's okay. So here's the thing. It's newsworthy because it's obviously a move that's happened in the scene.
Yeah.
Um, Dewey is a decent player. She's a Danish player. And just she is a Danish esports organization that has had a team, but they're just not competitive. They haven't. I'm trying to put this nicely. They haven't been very competitive. So the team is Dewey. It's Issaria, and it's Rix. It's Idax, and it's is it Onsvarig, and the Tyrant is their coach. You may not have heard of some of these players.
Yeah.
I mean, I have from just covering a few games from but it's not. It might be 11 esports because it's XI esports. So it might be a little. You know how like football they call the 11 and it's the XI.
Mm-hmm.
That might be it. But I'm gonna call them she for lack of a better knowing. So I don't know. It's one of these things where it's like this. She's a decent player. I'd like to see her move up off of into a better lineup. But she's coming from really. I'm going to be pretty harsh, to forgive me, but the pits of EU right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it is literally the bottom of the bottomless pit in EU. She have not been competitive in any Cash Cup. They're always going out, in first place, or
Mm-hmm.
not first place,
Last
but
place.
like they're always going out first. Yeah,
Yeah.
in last place. It's not really anything. That
It was a name.
well, I'm not saying that to her. Like
Yeah,
that's harsh to her. I'm saying it's not something that she are going to be like reeling from because they're not they've not been competitive. I
yeah.
guess is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Um, Turning this into a bit more of a positive, we do have a roster being signed at least in South Africa, and it is
Yes,
Evasive signing a roster. I'm gonna quickly scroll down and see if I can
I
find
love
that
how it's like
tweet.
evasive, but it's AVASIVE.
Yeah, hold on. Where is that tweet? Where is it? I cannot find. Oh, here we go. Signing Lady Purr, Sen, Kals,
They
Acet, and Misan.
essentially, if you were listening to earlier in the podcast, the mommy milkers.
Yes.
They signed the mommy
They
milkers, is
signed the
what
Mommy
they signed.
Milkers, which is perfect. And they signed them after the Cash Cup, so we can still call them Mommy Milkers. They weren't evasive at the time. But, sorry, you looked very upset there for a second.
Yeah, it's the team name. I'm like, of all the team names,
Always
swear
the
to
team
God,
names. They're going to have fun with them. So that's cool to
Counter
see.
Strike is so unique to
Counter
that
Strike
stuff.
is great. I've seen some pretty good team names coming in from Valorant, but I think that's more of a rub off from all the CS players coming over than anything else.
Yeah,
So
I think you're right.
I
think you're
don't
right.
I cannot claim that any other esport has as a creative base as we do, just because of the fact how many teams we have and how dumb we all are collectively with our brain cells kind of put together.
Yeah.
I think that's everything on the roster side. Oh, quick update just
Yes.
before we move on to the next little bit here. Something that popped up today
Mhm.
for the Nine Pandas side. Something that
Oh
I
yes,
kind of
thank
called
you for
out.
bringing
Something
this
I
up.
kind of called out might
Yes,
happen. Kind of happened, but in a better way than expected.
yes. We talked about it on the pod,
We
and
did
it's
talk about
kind
it.
of like we're kind of
So
in between.
yeah, we talked about issues in terms of their visas. I said there might be issues coming forward with those just because we don't know what their situation is. The answer is all of the players have US visas and they're fine.
Yes.
The coach does not. So
Fuck. That's what I
that's your
want.
one.
It was worth it.
It
It
was
was
worth
worth
it.
it.
I agree.
It
That
was
was a
worth
worth
it.
it.
It
That
was
was a
worth
worth
it.
it. So what
Yeah.
has happened is they're looking for somebody with a U.S. visa or citizenship
Yes.
to
Who can speak Russian?
who can speak Russian to step in and be their coach. Hey, it's Florence put his name forward. I've seen that a bunch.
Did he put his name
He
forward, or did
he
somebody
reached.
just tag him?
No, Goosebeard tagged him, and then he actually ended up reaching out to me because I retweeted it and said like, "Hey, are there any Russian speaking coaches available?" Because there are a few players here that are from Russia, are from Ukraine, and would speak Russian because Ukraine's like that. Um, I'll give a shout out to Olya saying, "Let me coach." I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
I was
That was
hilarious.
like, if you're coming anyways, you might as well just be like, "Hey, hello, coach." I thought that'd be pretty cool. And Gooseberry put Florence's name forward. He has reached out to me. We've both reached out to Nine Pandas Fearless. We've reached out to some of the players this time. I haven't
I
heard
think
anything
he'd be a
back.
good fit.
I think
I
it would
think he'd
work.
be a good.
He's
Yeah.
he's been a very good voice around here as far as NA is concerned. I've
Mhm.
never heard anything bad, which is always a good mark because in
Oh, I
NA,
love him. I love
yeah, it's
Florence.
perfect. So here's hoping that they do eventually reach back to us because I believe he's already coming to Dallas. I could be wrong, but like that would already be a match made right there. Like, oh yeah, I was already heading to
Yeah,
Dallas. All my
because he
stuff
doesn't
is
need a
set.
visa. He's American. So,
He's set.
it,
And
and if he speaks Russision, like,
all of a sudden there you go.
perfect. Yeah.
You've got a potential steady voice behind you that can at least help out. And he might not know all the strats, but he's a well thought out man, which is good to see.
Right. There is a silver lining in things like this, right? It's
Hmm.
very unfortunate for the coach. I feel terrible because it's like I feel like pandas are being not robbed an opportunity, but certainly you have to question how much of an effect will this have on the team, right?
Yeah.
Like that's always going to be that's a question that's now going to hang over the Dallas tournament, right?
Yes.
However, if you have a player like Florence who plays in advanced, I'm pretty sure main in advanced pretty regularly, right?
Yeah.
So and he's a good dude. I've interacted with him before. I've not got a bad thing to say about the guy. But if you have players who are in this kind of, I don't want to say stuck because I think Florence is a pretty good player and potentially could make an ECL roster. But if you have these players that kind of float in these lower divisions, right?
Yeah. Lots of
And
experience
they
there.
want to give coaching a try, or they never thought about coaching, and
Yeah.
they get an opportunity to coach, they might really enjoy it, and then that might open a door up for their career to become a full-time coach or whatever. It happens in football, it happens in sport in general. Like,
There's a
players who
lot.
weren't,
Yeah.
yeah, players who were never like top tier A quality players turn out to be, amazing coaches sometimes.
Yeah.
Herb Brooks is an example of that for ice hockey, giving you
Hmm.
the ice hockey reference. Wasn't a phenomenal player, turned out to be one of the most iconic coaches in
Yeah.
the sport. Like, just
It's
so
one of those things. I mean, like I'm
yeah,
I'm actively I am not a good player. I mean, we had the talk with Fearless where she wouldn't even say what her face at rank was, which I think is still absolutely hilarious. It's probably one of the best moments of that interview where I asked her what her face level was and she wouldn't answer. Um, go, you can watch that episode. It's such a funny moment.
definitely watch that episode. It's a
Um,
great that was a great
I'm
episode.
like I'm factually I suck. Like I'll put it out there. I'm not good at this game, but I'm very good at talking about this game. I could there's actually it's kind of funny when we talk in the LCA casting group. There's a lot of a blend between what we do as casters and what we could potentially do as a coach. Now, I miss out on a lot of the players experience which they have, but I have a lot of the other side of like talking and being, passionate about the game, and sometimes that kind of balances things out. But yeah, it's having a career, having an option outside of just playing is really cool. And when you have a big brain like some of these players do and can think about the game sometimes a lot better than you can play the game, no shame to anybody who sucks at the game. I suck at the game. You're looking pretty good when it comes to resumes of who do you want to coach. And little experiences like this, they go a long way in the overall scheme of things. I mean, who could say, yeah, I went and stood in to coach a team as they went to a LAN, and I got to meet some really cool people. That's honestly really cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he could, if he did do it, if
Yeah,
he did do it, he
if
could
it
do
does
it,
happen.
turn around and be like, I could do this in advanced.
Yeah,
I coach an advanced team. The advanced team sees massive improvement under him
yeah,
and goes, yo, I could do this full time. And then maybe they go up to ESL or ECL, and then he's coaching an ECL team and he continues to work on his
100%.
craft. Like, it's really, really a great opportunity
And
for
then
Florence if he takes, or whoever who
yeah,
takes it, right?
whoever takes it. Florence in this
I
example
do
is the
hope
one we're
it's
going for,
Florence.
though.
Yeah, I do hope it's Florence, mate.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
100%.
awesome.
All right, so that leaves us with kind of all that news. We got a little bit of time left in the pod, so just before we get to what are we watching next, just want to send out some well wishes to a few players.
Yes.
There have been some things that have happened recently. I think we'll start with Nat because hers is the older one of the two. I'm kind of
Yes.
scrolling up to find it.
I believe she's partially. I think she might have broken a finger
Yes,
or two
something like
fingers.
that. So Nat
Something like that. Yeah.
CS:GO is a Swedish player, former player it looks like, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
she seems to have done something to her hand. I don't see much about it on.
Yeah. I think I responded.
Yeah, she just said she
Oh,
was
she just said
okay.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
it turned out to be a broken. Oh,
something
it
had to
is
so
broken,
broken
and had
hand,
to do surgery. I
broken
had to put
finger,
it
broken
back
hand.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I left, so she broke it playing football.
That sounds like me tomorrow.
What an awesome what? Okay, look. Obviously, you don't want to ever break your head, but as a football enjoyer,
That's cool.
well done.
Yeah, great
Like,
job. You understood the assignment.
yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, the team I'm subbing in for tomorrow for Open is actively praying I do not hurt myself tomorrow playing in net. I kind of am 50-50 at this point if I actually do or not. And they'll never see the pod to know whether I did it purposely.
There you
um,
go.
yeah. So best of luck to Nat there and getting that healed up.
Yes, yes.
Only gonna be a few weeks, so it might honestly already be on the mend. That's pretty cool for her.
That's good. Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
very good.
Welcome to the good healthcare side of stuff. And then on the other side of it, Haley coming in from the Team Factor Ruby side, her dad had a stroke and he went to the hospital. He has been
Yes.
discharged, luckily, and getting back to recovering. So
Yes.
good to see that ended up being okay. Well wishes
Yes,
go out to her and
for the
her
most
father.
part, yes. And obviously keeping her dad in our thoughts,
Yeah.
and definitely hoping for full
Yeah.
and a speedy recovery as well. So great that he was discharged from the hospital as well. That's very, very encouraging news.
Mhm.
And discharged so quickly as well. That's very
Yeah,
encouraging news.
it was very quick, so that's good to see, and really glad that
Yeah.
that's all taken care of, which is
So
great for that. That leaves us
yeah.
with what are we watching, and we got about 6 minutes before we hit the hour mark. So if you want to make it a little bit quicker, and we can try and beat the hour mark for once in our lives.
I'm not trying to beat the hour mark. I want to be at least an hour. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna
Mark,
cry.
what are you watching?
Nothing. I'm sad.
Bruh, really?
I,
Really, bro?
I'm not even lying. I honestly like I've been trying so hard. You know what? I think
Bruh.
I'm casting tonight. I accidentally made sure I was. Oh, I might have to cancel on them. That's gonna be sad. I'm just. Oops.
What? Not on LCA, are you?
No. I think it was a Shimmer game. I told them I was gonna cast for them, and I just realized now how much work I gotta do behind the
Oh.
scenes. Upsetting.
Rip.
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 That's still making in though. I'm gonna keep the shout out going. I am actively saying to teams, hey, listen, if you want your games casted, we'll work on it. It's one of those things of like I'm trying to make time to do it. It's very hard right now with my schedule because the game days that you guys do are the same days that I cast usually, which kind of sucks. But do keep me in mind. I'm gonna try my best. Obviously, as tonight happened, I'm gonna be rendering a video at the same time that I should be casting, and that is gonna absolutely tank the stream. So I will not stream. What are you watching, Benny? You got 4 minutes on the floor here.
We've got the second edition of Liga Femenina. I actually haven't decided if I'm going to stream it on my stream. I might do this season on my stream. The second edition. But we've got some interesting teams. Obviously, B4 in here. Storm Power, No Org. Remember, that's XLRV. Maiden Pug are back. God, I hope they have a deep run. That hiccup's gonna wind up making it into the pod as well. Black Dragons, MIBR, Sent by God is in here. W7M, Avengers, a team that's just all Z's. It's like Z. So sleep.
Yeah.
Davina's in here. Sundogs, Asmulas, Cavalas, and Furia. Now, interesting note: Furia withdrew from the first edition. If they want to make Masters, automatically they would have to play in this one or join through the open qualifiers. W7M lost 2 games in the group stage and forfeited the third because they realized they weren't going to make playoffs. So they're still in here. B4 in here. And the big question for me is, do B4 want to play this event as a Dallas primer?
Yeah.
Or do they want to withdraw knowing they automatically have a spot in the Masters Femenina already?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm watching too, specifically. Is this B4 gonna play? So I'm also looking to see, how some teams do, like W7M, can they improve?
Yeah.
Is Black Dragon still gonna like run away with it? Is Maiden Pug gonna have as deep a run as they had? Like, because remember, the winner gets into Masters Femenina automatically,
Right.
and they get a first round bye, and the second and third seed go to the closed qualifier. So we have to have this second edition, then we have to have 2 open qualifiers, then we have to have the closed qualifier. So the open and the closed qualifiers are all going to be after Dallas, because this event runs through the end of next week, which is the weekend before Dallas. So I don't think you're going to have a qualifier.
No, you don't have
the
time.
Week of
you don't have it. You
there's
don't
no
have
way.
time. No chance.
There's no way. So, but that is going to be a great tournament. Games start tomorrow, which by the time this podcast goes live will be later today.
Yeah.
So
like an
later
hour
today,
afterwards or something like that.
Yeah, right. So later today, we're gonna have Liga Femenina kicking off. So looking forward to that. That's what I am watching.
Awesome. Well, we don't watch much. Well, you watch a lot. I don't watch much. I'm busy. I'm a busy person, man. I discovered.
Watch some Brazilian CS, bro.
If I had time. I need personal
time.
time.
Oh, you got
I need
time.
personal time, Benny. I need game time.
I know the feeling, bro.
It's one of those things. Anyways, we are closing this out just before the hour mark. I'm going to make sure we close out before the hour mark. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We will be back next week with a special thing that we're cooking up. And then 2 weeks' time for the Dallas. Yeah, we'll come back in 2 weeks' time with the Dallas primer with a special guest who's going to be there with us, which is really cool. We're doing that literally the just before kind of the LAN happens. Then we'll be at Dallas. We might try and do some stuff there. Probably not. I'm going to be honest. I'm there for vacation. You're there for vacation. Well, we'll try and get like little snippets here and there, but it's not going to be enough to fill a podcast. So anyways, that's going to be us done for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Like I said, check us out on the YouTube, on the Spotify. Of course, the Spotify goes up immediately as soon as I'm done processing it the night before. And then, of course, the episode comes up the next day in live viewing. But yeah, that's everything from us. Have a good one, and we will see you when we see you, which is very, very soon. Till then, take care.